Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you grabbed a snack, stayed for a while and click the subscribe button. I would love to have you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So as you could tell by the title of the video, today's video is going to be kind of a fun one. I'm going to put on makeup that people dislike, but I actually enjoy. So most of these products, I feel like some people hate it. Not all, just some people. And for some reason, they work perfectly well on me, or I do really enjoy them. This one, I really did have to think long and hard.
That's what she said.
But I was able to find enough products to do pretty much a full face. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this video. Okay, so before we get started real quick, makeup is very personal. If for some reason you don't enjoy these products or you do enjoy these products, don't get offended or don't take it personal. It's not an attack on anyone. This is just a video idea that I came up with and I thought it would be fun to film. I feel like there are some people who are just, they ruin it for the rest of us. Makeup should be fun and they just ruin that, you know? So negative energy, be gone. If you are bringing that to my channel, I don't want you here. Plain and simple. Okay, so for primers, there wasn't too many primers that I can think of that people really hate. And if there is, I probably don't have them. But there are two that I thought of. The first one is this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Now this is like an under eye and an eyelid primer. I have enjoyed it more as an under eye primer than for my eyelids before I put shadow on top of it. But I actually do enjoy this, and as you could tell, I'm almost done with it. I enjoy that one. And the Danessa Myricks Balm Powder. I feel like it used to be 50-50 and now I feel like I see more people saying that they dislike this than they do. I enjoy this. I have the universal shade and I'm actually going to use this as a primer today. I'm mainly going to focus it on my T-zone. I did go into my Wet n Wild primer water or primer serum for the rest of my face just to bring back moisture. But this actually keeps my oils at bay so well, and that is the main reason why I enjoy it. If you use too much, I do feel like it can kind of alter the performance of it, but I do feel like it's a good one. By the way, for any complexion information on my description box, I do put my age, my skin type, my preference, and all that other good stuff that you would like to know. Okay, so I do really enjoy that Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm. Okay, now for foundation, I'm just going to go in the order in which I apply my makeup. I thought of three. First one is the Patrick Ta new foundation that he came out with. I definitely feel like it's about 50-50. Either you enjoy this or you don't. I personally do enjoy this. I feel like it is such a great finish. It holds well throughout the day. Like, I enjoy it. The Glossier tint. I feel like probably 60, maybe 70% of people dislike this. And the main reason is because it's literally a tinted water. But the finish of this is so pretty. I started mixing this with my foundations and I do really enjoy it. I do feel like it's a little expensive for what it actually is, but the product and formula itself, I do really enjoy. And last but not least is from GloWish by Huda Beauty, the Multi-Dew Skin Tint. I feel like probably 80% of people hated this. And the reason is because it's so glowy, kind of like that new Kosas wannabe Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, kind of like that, but I don't feel like it's that extreme. I did enjoy this. I haven't picked it up in a while, so I'm gonna see how I can figure out and maybe adding all of these and just doing my base with all three. Okay, so I have the GloWish and the Glossier here pumped out so I can mix on my finger, and I think I'll add this and then I'll blend it out with the Patrick Ta. For the GloWish, I have it in light medium, and it's a tiny bit dark for me right now, but I think I'll be able to make it work. For the Glossier, I have it in G8, and for the Patrick Ta, I have it in light medium 4. I do feel like the Patrick Ta runs a tiny bit on the warm tone side, so I'm going to pick up my Sonia G Jumbo base, and I'm going to dip my brush in there, and we're going to blend all of this together, and hopefully we can make it work decently. Yeah, so all of these I enjoy. I haven't picked up the GloWish and the Patrick Ta in a little bit, but every time I do, I remember how much I do enjoy the products. And I feel like when it comes to foundation, it's very personal because we are all different skin types. Our skin tones are different. Like, it's such a personal makeup item, you know? Okay. Those three mixed together look so good. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I think they look great. All right, next is concealer, because that's what I put on next, and I do have two here. One is the Beauty Blender Bounce Airbrush Liquid Whip Concealer, and the other one is the Magic Away Charlotte Tilbury Concealer. I feel like almost everybody hated this. Now, I don't love this concealer, but I can definitely make it work. It's okay. I enjoy it. And for the Beauty Blender, I feel like a lot of reviews that I saw, they said it was a little bit heavy just because it's a whipping formula. So it was a little bit too on the heavy side, and it just accentuated fine lines and whatnot. But I can actually also make this work. I do enjoy it. I've enjoyed both of these, and so we're going to use both of them today. For the Beauty Blender, I have 2.50N, and for the Magic Away, I have it in shade 5. So let's go ahead and put some of this Magic Away, if I can get it open. It has that ridiculous ugly applicator. I don't enjoy that about it, but the formula itself for me is a decent one. I don't hate it. Okay, and now we're going to jump into the Beauty Blender. I think the Beauty Blender one is a tiny bit on the light side, but... And then the doe foot is like interesting. I think they're discontinuing this. I feel like it's been on sale forever at Sephora, but I could be wrong. I just feel like they might be discontinuing it and coming up with a new one. Okay, the Sonia G mini base to blend this out, and as you can tell, I didn't use a lot of product. I feel like a lot of product just kind of calls for a disaster, especially if you're like, you know, not in your early 20s. But yeah, it's looking nice. It's blending out well. I enjoy these. I don't love them, but I enjoy them. I can make them work, and I don't hate them like I've seen other people state in their reviews. Okay, this is what the base is looking like. So the Beauty Blender concealer, I would definitely say it's a little bit more on the dry side. So if you have really bad dry under eyes, I can definitely see how you wouldn't enjoy the Beauty Blender concealer. But other than that, I feel like everything looks really good. Still looks like my skin. Yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying the way my base is looking. Okay, the next thing I would go in with is cream bronzer, and I actually have 3 formulas here. First is the Anastasia Beverly Hills cream bronzer, and I feel with this one is more the tones than the actual formula. So I have the shade Amber here, and this one has like a good amount of yellow undertone in it, and it doesn't look good on a lot of people. So I feel like with this Anastasia, it's more the actual shade range than the actual formula, and specifically this amber shade, which I do happen to have. I have used this. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with the shade. You could tell that I've used this. I can definitely agree and see what people mean. Okay, another one is this Glossier Solar Paint bronzer. For this one, it was mostly the blending of it. You do have to use this a specific way. The best way I have found is to put it on the back of your hand, pick it up from here, and then blend it out. So I can definitely see how that can be just a turn off for a lot of people. They also, I believe, only have 3 or 4 shades. When it first released, I think they only had 3 shades, and since then they have added 1 or 2 shades. The next one is this Milk Makeup Bionic Bronzer. So when this first came out, I don't think it got the best reviews, and honestly, I'm not even sure why, because I actually do really enjoy this. I think they only have 3 shades. They might have added 1 more shade. I believe this is the second to lightest shade or the lightest shade, but I enjoy this. I think the formula is really nice. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start with this Milk Makeup, and then I'll see if I use 1 more. Okay, so for the Milk Makeup, this is in the shade Time Travel. So I'm going to add a tiny bit. Now, if this has been sitting for a while, oil will come out before the actual product. You see that? Okay, so this is a BK Beauty 111. There is the shade, and I basically dip my brush in here, get it nice and distributed, and then I apply it. And it's a very natural, subtle kind of bronzer. I don't feel like the pigment is super overwhelming, because I feel like sometimes with liquid bronzers it can be. Okay, so there is the Milk Makeup Bionic Bronzer. Okay, now the Glossier. And I'm going to put some on the back of my hand. This one's a tiny bit more on the pigmented side, and it's a little bit warmer. Flare is the shade. BK Beauty 111. I'm just going to use the same brush because why not? And this one does dry down a tiny bit faster than the Milk Makeup, so work a little bit faster. But as you could see, it's also a very subtle shade. I do have, I believe, the lightest one, so that could be why. And this one does have a tiny bit of almost shimmer flecks in it. Okay, and so this side is the Milk Makeup and this side is the Glossier. And as you can tell, they're both very subtle. They're both very on the natural side. You do have to figure out which way works best for you. I bet you with a sponge, you could probably make it work, but I feel like you would use more product because it would get absorbed from the sponge. But just the way that I do it, I enjoy it. I don't know if you could see the glitter flakes there for the Glossier. So it's a little bit on the shimmery side, but it's a natural kind of sheen. I enjoy both of these formulas. This one I also enjoy as well. It's just the shade that's a tiny bit just not the best. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna add this one. But yeah, see, like I feel like right now my base and everything is looking really good. Very like my skin, but better. So far, so good. All right, before we go in with powder, I am going to go in with some cream blush because I usually put all of my cream products before I go in with powder. I do have 2 different cream blush products here, and I don't have any powder blush because I feel like most blushes, like they're really good. It's very rare that you find a powder blush that's like absolutely horrible. I feel like most of them are pretty nice. It's just whether they're a special formula or not. Okay, so the Charlotte Tilbury, this is the Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow. I have heard a lot of people say that the first time she released these, they didn't enjoy them. I think it was the pigmentation and they were just a little bit too balmy for their taste. I purchased this the last time she re-released it. I forget with, I think it was with that nude something, like the 6-pan palette with the nude shades. I believe that's when she re-released this. I honestly don't remember, but I have enjoyed this and I feel like it's a good one and she did a good job. Another one is the About Face Cream Blush, and the main thing I have heard is that people are having an issue with it either sticking or lifting up product. I have found that this actually works the best on top of powder, which is odd because it's a pretty balmy formula. So what I'm going to do is use the Charlotte right now, and then once we're done powdering and everything, I'll go in with the About Face and show you what I mean. Okay, so the Charlotte Tilbury Lip and Cheek Glow Blush. And what did I say the shade was? Color of Dreams. And it smells like a vanilla cupcake. Okay, I'm going to jump into my Sephora 96 brush. It's my favorite brush for blush. Cream blush, I should say.
How many times can I say brush?
Got some on here, and I'm going to apply this. Very, very pretty color. It's like a mauvey. Yeah, like a mauvey, almost rosy kind of shade. It's a really pretty one. I've been enjoying it, and I've used it both under powder and on top of powder, and I haven't had any issues. So maybe she updated the formula from when she last released this product, but so far I'm enjoying it. I think she did a good job with this. And it's nice to have a cream blush from Charlotte. Okay, now is powder time. And again, powder is also very personal because you're either oily, you're dry, combo, whatever the case may be. Not every single powder is going to work absolutely beautiful for every single person. But I feel like these powders kind of got a lot of negative feedback. First one is the GloWish. This is the luminous pressed powder, and it's because it's a luminous powder. I would say that if used too concentrated, it does look like a highlight. But if you use it the way I use it, which is with a very fluffy brush, it actually looks absolutely stunning. It reminds me a lot of the Hourglass, that powder, the finishing powder that they have. So I will be using the GloWish and also the powder that came in the Patrick Ta foundation and powder duo. I feel like it's been 50-50 for me. I think this powder is absolutely beautiful, very natural. Now, if I remember correctly, when he announced this product, he did indicate that this powder is mostly recommended to be used in like the T-zone and maybe in your under eyes, but it's not meant to be a full face setting powder. So maybe that's why people aren't enjoying it, but even then, I feel like the times that I have used it, it's done a really good job. Let's go ahead and set my under eyes with the GloWish, and then I'll use the Patrick Ta in my T-zone. All right, so I did already set my under eyes with a little bit of the MAC Fix Plus, because that's the one that's right here on my desk, just to make sure it's all blended. And honestly, there was minimal creasing under my eyes with those two concealers. Okay, so light medium 4 for the GloWish, and I'm going to use this Chanel Puff, and I'm going to, because I want the least amount of powder, I don't use too much powder under my eyes. And I have used this GloWish before as under eye setting powder, and it's worked really, really well. So I'm hoping it works well with this concealer combo I have. Okay, and that's what the under eyes look like with the GloWish powder. I think they look beautiful. They look smooth. I used a minimal amount and I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. Now let's jump into the Patrick Ta, and again, light medium 4 is the shade I have. It's a tiny bit dark for me right now, but the powder works great. This is a Make Beauty brush, and I'm only going to concentrate this in my T-zone. And I don't use a lot of powder. I usually dip, my child is here. I usually dip my brush and then tap the excess. Okay, now as far as eyeshadow, which I feel is also very personal. I feel like makeup just in general is personal. Some of the things I love, she's shushing me. ¿Quieres decir hola? Di hola. That's my Hartley girl. Yeah, so some of the things I love, you might hate. Some of the things you hate, I might love. It just, makeup is so personal, but the main point is that makeup should be fine. And this is the eyeshadow palette that I felt like it got a decent amount of negative reviews, but I actually really enjoyed it. And it's the Supreme Mauves palette from Artist Couture. Yeah, I enjoyed this palette. I thought they did a good job. So we're going to create an eye look with this, and it'll probably be like a sped up version of me creating the eye look. I'm not going to like take my time because this video is already going to be super long. But yeah, so I'm going to create an eye look with this, and then I'll be back in to talk some more. Charlotte Tilbury brush. Refer 01. Sigma E40. NYX glitter glue. Natasha Denona Draw and Diffuse. Okay, here is the completed eye look. Once I put on my mascara, it'll look so much better. I have the Essence eyelash primer. I went into my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I couldn't think of any eye primer that I own that people hate and I enjoy, except for the Milk Makeup. But like I said, I didn't enjoy this as much for eyelid primer as I did for my under eyes. But yeah, I feel Artist Couture did a good job with this palette, and I honestly don't even know why I got like bad reviews. This eye look is beautiful, and you'll see it once I put the mascara on. I went ahead and did my eyebrows off camera because again, I also couldn't find any like eyebrow pencil or eyebrow product that people kind of dislike and I own and I enjoy. So I went into my e.l.f. It's the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, and with my Patrick Tall gel. Now we're going to jump into powder bronzer, and the only one that I can think of that it's in my collection is the new Melt Cosmetics Ultra Matte Powder Bronzer that they just came out with. I have it in the shade Santa Barbara, which I believe is the second lightest shade, and I feel like the tone and the shade range is what people had the most issue with, not the formula itself. These pull very orange, and they are not as dark as the pan shows it to be. So this is the only powder bronzer that I can think of. Okay, this is a Sigma Beauty Soft Blend 60, and I'm going to add this. They just run very orange, and I think everyone's kind of over the orange bronzers. Like, that was from what? I remember back in the day when I was in high school, early 20s, like orange is what you would see in bronzers, but I feel like not anymore. And these just pull very orange, very warm. And I feel like that's what most people disliked about these Melt bronzer. So hopefully they did take some of the feedback and maybe they're working on something different, but I do feel like not a lot of people enjoyed this Melt Cosmetics powder bronzer. Okay, and here is how the makeup is looking so far. For mascara, I went in to the Rare Beauty and the Fenty Beauty. The Hella Thick Rare Beauty, you already know I don't like it. It flakes like crazy. The Hella Thick, so far it's a decent mascara. The only bone I have to pick with it is that it's a very wet formula and it can get chunky very fast, like tarantula type of mascara. So I did have to use my eyelash separator, but other than that, I am really enjoying the Fenty Beauty. Okay, now let's talk about this About Face Cheek Freak Blush Balm. I have the shade Smash. So like I mentioned earlier, most of the reviews I saw that gave it a bad review, it was too balmy. It lifted a product underneath it. I have tried this both under powder and on top of powder, and I actually feel that it performs a tiny bit better on top of powder because of the balmy consistency, unless you are somebody who literally has a barely there base, like maybe just the Glossier on its own, this is not going to work because it's going to lift your foundation up. Now, when I tried it, it didn't, but I can definitely see how that could happen. So we are going to put it now that I have set everything, and we're going to use that Sephora 96 brush, and I just dip, and you can tell that I've definitely used this. So I just dip my brush in here and I apply it. And it doesn't stay too balmy when I do it this way. It actually does dry down a tiny bit, which is nice because I hate it when my hair sticks to my face because of makeup. As you can see, it's working very well on top of powder. It's not lifting anything up. It's working nicely. And it's a very pretty blush. I love the shade I got. I think it's beautiful. I enjoy this formula. I just think you have to figure out how you can make it work. So far, I feel like my makeup is looking really nice. So I'm okay with that. Okay, just a couple of more products and then I'm done. I already feel like this video is going to be so long. Okay, highlighter. I feel like most highlighters are very thoroughly enjoyed. There's not too many that people like hate, but I feel like these kind of got backlash. One of them I'm cheating a tiny bit, and that is the ABH. So this one, the stick, it has glitter in it. You probably can't even see it. So the formula is nice, but the glitter is what myself and other people have a lot of issues with. You already know I dislike glitter. And also this one's a gold. What shade is this? This is in Drippin' in Gold. Honestly, I don't know why I purchased this because if you've been here for a while, you already know I dislike gold highlights. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of this one here. Yeah, I don't know if you could see the glitter, but yeah, that glitter. But the formula itself of the highlight is nice, and I have picked that up from time to time. When I do a makeup declutter, I'll probably end up getting rid of it. Okay, the Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty. This little face gloss highlighting dew. Quartz Glow is the name. That highlight that she came out to that looks like a petri dish. I enjoy this. It is a very balmy formula, so I can definitely see how a lot of people do not like it, but I enjoy it. So I pick it up with my finger and then I tap it on the back of my hand because this does stay a tiny bit balmy, but it does blend out so nicely. Literally makes your complexion look like it's wet. It's a very natural kind of highlight. It can lift up product if you're not careful, so you have to be very gentle, but the finish is so pretty. Do you see that? So pretty. So I enjoy it. Not everybody does. And you can tell that I've definitely used this. Okay, and this is what we're looking like so far. I feel like everything is looking so pretty. My under eyes are looking very nice. I feel like my makeup's looking really good right now. Okay, lips is the very last thing. And I feel like these have gotten more negative feedback than actual positive feedback. And for lipsticks, I have the Merit lipsticks, but I have two shades here, and the Refy Beauty Lip and Sculpt little duo thing. So you have a lip liner on one side. This is in the shade Fawn. And then on the other side, you have the sealant, which feels almost like a silicone type of product. I only use the sealant when I'm only going to use the lip liner on its own. If I'm going to use the lip liner with anything else, I don't use the sealant. But the texture is a little bit odd, especially for when, like, your mouth. It's not a texture that you typically feel on lip products. Okay, and these Merit lipsticks, I just feel like a lot of people say they weren't as special and they're too expensive for what they are. I actually love this formula. I just don't know if it's gonna go with the eye look that I have. So Cabo is this pretty one here. So it's like a pretty red. Hopefully I didn't mix the tops. And then Tiger, which is a tiny bit more brownie, maybe almost coffee-like. I might try this one and see how that goes, but let me put the lipstick on before I put the lip liner. It's just a really nice and pretty formula. It feels so nice. I feel like the packaging feels luxurious. It reminds me of like a Chanel lipstick. I feel they did such a good job, and I don't know why a lot of people think they're like just overhyped, you know? Okay, so very smudged. I think it looks okay, but we're going to add the lip liner now. This is in the shade Fawn. I think Rosewood is the other shade I own in this, and I love it. It's so good. It's very long lasting. The main complaint I hear is the actual formula of the lip liner, that it's a little bit on the tuggy side, but I don't feel that. So I don't know if maybe they just got a bad one. Yeah, these don't feel tuggy at all. Super smooth, very like it's a great formula. So I don't know. Okay, my lovelies, and here is the finished completed eye look with makeup that other people dislike and I actually truly enjoy. That just goes to show that we are also different, you know, skin type, skin tone, undertones, makeup preferences. Imagine if we were all the same and how boring life would be. Yeah, makeup is supposed to be fun. It's made to just enjoy and have fun. I feel like sometimes we take it too seriously and we forget that it's just supposed to be fun. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I enjoyed it so much. It was honestly so fun showing you how I make some of these products work. Okay, I would love to know if any of these products you love or hate. I would love to know. Make sure to leave it in a comment down below. And that's going to be it. That's going to conclude this video. Okay, my lovelies, well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you, all the comments, all the likes. If you use my links to shop, it truly means the world to me. I'm not saying that just to say it. I honestly do appreciate every single one of you. And just remember that if you are going through a hard time, you are awesome. And if nobody has told you you are rocking at this, just keep pushing. We are not promised tomorrow, and we need to make the most out of this beautiful life that we are living. Okay, well, with that being said, I would love it if you gave this video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would definitely help me out in the algorithm of hopefully bringing some new and fresh eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. Okay, I will see you on the next video. Bye.